Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to Talking Tea Time with Dr. G. This is a platform where we discuss the latest headlines, current events, and human interest stories. Today on Talking Tea Time, we are going to be discussing the Illinois Small Business Development Center for the Metro East at SIUE Edwardsville.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome back to Talking Tea Time with Dr. G. Again, if you missed it, today we are going to be discussing the Illinois Small Business Development Center for the Metro East at SIUE Edwardsville. I'd like to welcome my guests here today on Talking Tea Time with Dr. G. Hello there, how are you?
Doing good. Thank you very much, Dr. G.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Appreciate the invitation.
All righty. At this time, could you give us some background information about yourself and then just give us some background information about the Small Business Development Center?
Sure. So my name is Joanne Dimaggio. I've been the director at the Illinois Small Business Development Center since 2017. Actually started as a graduate assistant. So always had a small business background. I grew up in the restaurant industry. My family has had a restaurant even before I was born. My dad started with my grandfather. So I have a passion for small business, and the Small Business Development Center is a perfect fit. We cover 9 counties, and I love being able to guide small businesses through those challenging times, and seeing that smile on their face is a rewarding feeling, and it motivates me every day.
Sure. So I heard you say that you came from a background in the restaurant. So what made you want to dive into this adventure dealing with the Small Business Development Center at SIU?
Well, I think it was a combination of things. I'm the oldest child. I have 4 younger siblings, so I've always been that mentor, that guide, and I had to grow up fast. My parents really depended on us. Me and my younger sister always worked or watched our 3 youngest siblings. Okay. She's 2 years younger than me, so we were the oldest 2. We would rotate, watch our siblings one day, waitress tables the next. I remember making my first $100 back in the early 90s, and I bought a pair of LA Gears.
Yes, I remember those.
And I gave my $100 and got my shoes, and I looked at my sister and I said, it took a long time to get that money, and it's gone just on this one purchase. So it really made me appreciate small business and how much you have to work to make the business run. I know my parents are so happy to now be retired. They worked so hard for over 40 years. And I just have an appreciation for small business owners and what they do and the sacrifices they make, because it's 24/7. It's not a 9 to 5.
That's true. So I heard you say that you started in 2017. And so since 2017, since we are now coming out of this pandemic, what has been the biggest challenge since we've been dealing with the pandemic and everything that comes along with that? What has been your biggest challenge?
Well, I guess I would say the biggest challenge has been, just the contact. It's been virtual, which is nice. It reduces travel and increases our efficiencies. I remember just a few weeks ago I had to go to Centralia and I spent 3 hours on the road, and I'm like, man, I could have just done this on Zoom.
Right.
So I think it's a positive and a negative because you don't have that human contact. Zoom is a lot better than a phone call or something, but still we miss that one-on-one interaction. And I think just getting the information out is maybe even a little more difficult because we can't have events in person and things like that. So businesses have really had to pivot.
Yes.
And I admire all that they've done to keep their businesses going. And I think one of the biggest challenges for them has been financially, weathering the storm, being shut down for at least 3 months. And there has been funding in the form of grants through, Illinois and the SBA and other federal opportunities, but it's really not enough.
Right. So what type of services does your office offer to small businesses? What type of services do you offer?
It really varies. It can be business planning, marketing strategy, HR support, social media guidance, cash flow management, really anything that has to do with the daily operation. I explain it that way. We don't get into government contracting. We can help get your DUNS number, help you register in SAM, but we have a procurement technical assistance center that does the government contracting side, certifications and bid matching and all those things. So, it's a wide variety of support. There's no cost. It's confidential, but we're not attorneys or accountants.
Right.
So, and we're not insurance agents. We're not lenders. So we have a wide variety of partners that we work with. It takes a village, just like they say it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to grow a business. And you need that external team.
Right. So you're located on the campus of SIU in Edwardsville.
We have 2 offices actually.
offices,
We have one in East St. Louis as well at the higher education campus.
Oh, okay, that is awesome. So are you all located on the Carbondale campus as well, or is it just here in the Metro East?
That's another SBDC.
Okay.
They're a partner office, colleague office. They're another territory coverage area, essentially. They do the same thing, but they cover more of the southern counties.
Okay. So since we have been in the middle of this pandemic, what would you say when you're talking with, business owners, you're talking with entrepreneurs, what do you find what is the one thing that they're lacking right now? What are they looking for? What type of assistance are they really needing? What would you say is the number one thing that they're looking for right now?
Well, I think recently a lot of it is human capital, the employees, the staffing. There's been so many variables, whether it's, kids going to school virtually, so parents have to manage all that. The unemployment benefits, so that kind of keeps some people from wanting to go back to work, and just worried and scared about the unknown and what's going on. So I think staffing has been a huge challenge, and pivoting. A lot of businesses have to go online.
Yes.
And they don't always understand that technology, especially if they're an older company and they've been in business for a long time. Maybe they're not as tech savvy. So we've been doing a lot of cybersecurity support, web design, even helping them look at their books. We have accountants through the CARES Act funding that we received last year. We have a couple accounting firms that are working with our clients to help them, with their taxes and their general bookkeeping. So a lot of services are being offered, but I would say HR and e-commerce, cybersecurity are really huge right now.
Okay, so I know that this PP loan is a big thing now, and everyone's been talking about the PP loan. How do I get money for the PP loan? Do I have to pay it back? Is it free money? Can you give me a brief description of what's the difference between a PP loan and a grant? Because grants, is that something that's offered through your office?
We do not directly offer grants, but we support the state and federal grants that are coming down through SBA and Department of Commerce.
Okay.
So, for example, the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, you had to be in business as of February 15th, 2020 or before. And it was a forgivable loan. It is no longer available. It expired May 30th, May 31st. But it truly ended even sooner than that because the money expired.
Right.
The funding was gone. It was exhausted. So if you use those funds for payroll, utilities, I believe insurance, and even mortgage interest was on there, those costs were eligible to be forgiven at the end.
Okay.
So then it would essentially be a forgivable loan or a grant.
Right.
If you did not use it properly or you did not file for forgiveness, because you do have to file, at least 8 weeks after, or I'm sorry, 10 months after you receive those funds, you have to make sure that you've applied for the forgiveness.
Okay.
No later than those 10 months. And if you don't, or you're not eligible because of the way you spent the funds, then it's a 1% interest rate loan.
Okay.
And you would have to pay it back.
Okay, so I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to have you come on, because so many people, they were thinking that, you know, okay, I'm going to get this PP loan money and I can just do whatever I want to do with it. And then there were others who were saying, oh, I don't know if I can get it now. Has all of the funds been exhausted? So I'm glad that you're here so that our viewers can hear you actually say that, yes, those funds have been exhausted.
Yes.
Do you think that there'll be another opportunity or another round of PP loans coming up?
I'm not sure about PPP, but today the governor of Illinois, Governor Pritzker, did announce back to business.
Okay.
It's a $250 million grant program, and the portal opens on the 18th,
Okay.
next Wednesday. So in a week from today, business owners will be able to apply. There are priority groups, restaurant, hospitality,
Okay.
I believe construction, all of that. And then they really are prioritizing by DIA, disadvantaged, distressed, impacted areas. And also, if you have not received any of the previous funding, you would
Yes.
be prioritized as well.
Okay.
So there is this new Back to Business program starting next week. Businesses would be eligible for, I believe it's up to $150,000.
Wow. Okay. So what is the most important thing that you want the viewers to know about the Business Development Center and what you all do and what you all have to offer?
I'm glad you asked. You know, a couple things I really want viewers to know. We offer no cost advice, and it's all confidential. And the other thing is that we help entrepreneurs and existing businesses. So you can be a 20, 30-year-old company, 50-year-old company. We can still offer advice and support.
I love
Maybe
that.
you haven't looked at your website in a few years. Maybe you're looking to expand and grow your sales force, or maybe you need new equipment.
Okay.
Maybe you need a larger facility. Maybe you're looking to export. There's definitely things that our office and the International Trade Center, for example, could help with.
Okay.
The Procurement Technical Assistance Center, if you're looking to get into government contracting. So we are not here just for a startup. We are here for any industry, any stage in that life cycle. So we want to help those existing businesses that are well established but have a concern, have an
Yes.
issue that they need to get through.
Exactly. So how can individuals contact you? Can you share your contact information with the viewers?
Sure. Email is the best because we are very busy and we're a small staff, so we can see email a lot quicker and get a response to you a lot faster than a phone call. But you are welcome to call. The email address is sbdcedw, Small Business Development Center, Edwardsville, at gmail.com. Or you can call 618-650-2929.
Awesome. So let me ask you this question. What type of advice do you have for startup businesses that's starting right now, or businesses that had started up and then the pandemic, you know, it just set in, it came from out of nowhere.
Right.
What advice do you have for those businesses? Because a lot of people, they're just wanting to throw in the towel. So what advice would you give those individuals?
I would probably say look at your business plan, and if you haven't put that plan together, that's what we need to do. We need to get focused. We need to put a plan in place, not only for funding, which is primarily the reason you write a business plan, because you're trying to secure a loan or a grant or maybe a partner or investor, but it's a way for you to measure your success and track your results. If you can't track it, you're not able to see the flaws and issues, and it can be too late. So a business plan helps you go back every 6 months, whatever the time frame might be, and you can look at your sales, your marketing, you can look at the revenue and cash flow, sit down with your accountant and make sure that you're on target. And if you're not, if there's a red flag, you can address it before it becomes a bigger problem. And I think business owners are very good at pivoting, and they're flexible anyway. But I would just say, don't be afraid to make changes. And, continue to weather the storm. There is a lot of help out there. We're happy to do what we can to help the business, and we have the Back to Business program that came out today. So it was perfect timing.
Perfect timing. And again, I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to have you come in and just educate our viewers on this topic, because so many people are seeking funds. They're seeking different avenues, and they're just almost at a point they're like, I don't know what else to do. And that's why you see a lot of businesses, they've had to close. They've had to cut hours back, and they don't know what the rest of this year is going to look like. So if I was to make an appointment to come in and speak with you, I've heard you say throughout this conversation, you've talked about an attorney, you've talked about a CPA. So can you just give me some background information on that? What are some things that I would need to have in place? Like after you and I have this conversation, what would I need to get in place after that? Would I need to call an attorney or?
Well, it's going to depend on the areas that you need help in, but I would say, definitely starting out, you would need the attorney, the accountant, the insurance agent. If you already have a good relationship with your financial institution, you can certainly stay with them, but we can always provide referrals for any of those. That's part of my job, not only meeting with businesses, but I spend probably 30% of my time, at least, getting out and meeting new government officials, new bankers, new insurance agents, or just different people that I haven't met yet, so that I can build my professional network of business contacts, so that I can provide those to my clients. Whether it's signage, whether it's credit card processing, we have a wide array of referrals.
How did you keep yourself motivated during this whole pandemic? How were you able to keep yourself motivated?
Well, I really didn't have a chance not to stay motivated. It didn't stop. We were waiting for the word shut down. We kept hearing the university's probably going to have to close. Everything's going to start shutting down. We had to wait for the actual official word, and we just prepared. We made sure we all had our laptops. We put our messaging on our website and our phone system, and the university has done a super job, tremendous work. They have worked nonstop through this to get us on Microsoft Team phones, Zoom. All of that has really been offered even, through the university. So if I didn't have it through the SBDC, I had it through my host institution. So we didn't skip a beat. We went home and we just kept working. I would meet with my team virtually on Teams. I would meet with my clients on Zoom. Mayors and other, government officials would reach out and say, hey, can you join our webinar today and talk about what you guys do and talk about the PPP and EIDL and all, the big program. And I would be on these calls with chambers of commerce and governors and, legislators. And we were hearing, the ordinary person say, I've been binging on Netflix, and I'm like, I haven't had 5 minutes.
I know, that's right. Awesome. So again, I really want to thank you for taking the time out to come on the show, because I think that this is beneficial information. And there may be a viewer that's never heard of you all before. So that's why I was really so ecstatic to have you come on so that they can learn and hear what you all have to offer. And again, you know, she's local, you all. She's right at SIU in Edwardsville. They also have an office in East St. Louis. She's already given her contact information. So I encourage, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, that you reach out to her in her office. They do an outstanding job. I've had the opportunity to come up and visit the office. It's a wonderful workspace. So I encourage you all to please reach out to her. So thank you so much again for taking the time out to come on Talking Tea Time with Dr. G. Would love to do a follow-up conversation with you. Maybe we could do a Facebook Live session so individuals can come on and they can ask questions after viewing the episode today. If they have any further questions, then we could actually sit down and do a Facebook Live. So I'd like to thank you again for coming on Talking Tea Time with Dr. G.
Thank you very much.
Stay safe and stay healthy. That's the most important thing. So when we return, Dr. G will be sharing one of my favorite teas. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss Dr. G's segment with her favorite tea.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day. He's an incredible companion and my best friend.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool.
When I retired from the Navy, I found myself on a void in my life that had been filled by the people that I served with. Tommy really brought an important factor to my life. I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Welcome back to Talking Tea Time with Dr. G. As promised, I am about to share one of my favorite teas. This happens to be an iced matcha tea latte from Starbucks. The reason I chose this one today is because I am doing a detox. I had an injury and I've been taking some pain pills. And so I really wanted to detox my body because I haven't been eating the way that I should be eating with these pain pills. So I stopped by Starbucks today and I grabbed an iced matcha tea latte. I highly recommend this. It is served on ice, so it's a cold tea. But again, it has become one of Dr. G's favorites. So if you have a favorite tea that you would like for me to share on Talking Tea Time with Dr. G, please email that to me at talkandteatime with Dr. G, and I will share it on one of my upcoming episodes. On the next episode of Talking Tea Time with Dr. G, you don't want to miss it. So again, thanks for tuning in to Talking Tea Time with Dr. G. Again, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Mr. Gerald Johnson from the Serenity Funeral Home. Everyone stay safe and stay healthy. From Dr. G.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Dad,
Just 1 minute, okay?
hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Touchdown! Did you see that? Whoa, we scored?
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.